All right, today we're going to talk about solving inequalities. One of the things that you do need to remember is to be able to use interval notation when we do this. I'll show you an example as we get going. All right, let's dive into the first example. All right, on this very simple inequality, just remember you're going to solve it just like you would an equation. We're going to add 3 to both sides. We're going to get 2x is less than 8. We're going to divide by 2, and we're going to get x is less than 4. Now, in interval notation, remember that means it is everything from negative infinity all the way up to 4. I'm going to use a parentheses rather than a bracket because it doesn't say equal to. All right, example 2 is involving a compound inequality. I'm going to show this 2 separate ways. Number 1, you can solve it like you would a regular equation. Just remember that whatever you do to the middle, you have to do to the left and you have to do to the right. So, for example, I am going to multiply by 3 to get rid of the 3, but that means I have to multiply this by 3, and I have to multiply the negative 7 by 3. Giving me a negative 21 is less than 5 minus 2x, which is less than or equal to 33. I'm going to subtract 5 from the middle, from the left, and from the right. That gives me a negative 26 is less than a negative 2x, which is less than or equal to a 28. Last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to divide by negative 2. And big reminder here is that any time that you multiply by a negative or divide by a negative, like we are doing here, you have to remember to switch the inequality symbols. So therefore, we are going to get a 13 is greater than x, which is greater than or equal to a negative 14. Now, situations like this, we never write it with the smaller number on the right. Instead, we want it on the left. So we want to write negative 14 is less than or equal to x, which is less than 13. Basically, this entire thing gets flipped around. All right, and then in terms of interval notation, remember that would be a bracket for a negative 14, comma 13, and we would have a parentheses at the 13. And so that would be our overall answer. All right, so just a reminder on this, you can do it as is. Just whatever you do to the middle, you have to do to the left and to the right. And then the other reminder is about multiplying or dividing both sides by a negative. All right, let's go to example 3. All right, a different way to do a compound is to basically treat it as 2 separate inequalities. And the way that we're going to do that is we're going to use the middle part twice. So we're going to write it once as x minus 3. Minus 3 is less than or equal to 3x plus 1. And then we're going to write 3x plus 1 is less than a 17 minus x. And then we're just going to solve them both separately. So, all right, I like to have my x on the left, so I am going to subtract 3x to the left. And I'm going to add 3 to the right. And therefore, I'm going to end up with a negative 2x is less than or equal to a 4. I'm going to divide by negative 2, divide by negative 2, and now I got x is, remember I got to switch the inequality because I'm dividing by a negative. I got to get x is greater than or equal to negative 2. And then over here, I am going to add x, subtract 1, and now I've got a 4x is less than a 16, divide by 4, and x is less than 4. So now I've got x is greater than or equal to negative 2 and less than 4. If you need to, in order to understand how to do it on a number line, you can always picture it this way. We've got negative 2, we've got 4, we want greater than or equal to negative 2, and we want less than 4. And so our interval is going to be negative 2 to 4. And remember, a bracket at the negative 2, and a parentheses at the 4. All right, let's flip over. All right, so the only difference here is now we're going to deal with absolute value with our inequalities, and a couple of key ideas that you need to keep in mind is that when it is a less than, then you are going to have an and situation. If it is a greater than, then you're going to have an or situation, right? But general rule of thumb, something to keep in mind is that you are always going to create two inequalities, and when you do this, you are going to flip the inequality and flip the sign. So what do I mean by that? So if I take this one, I am going to have x is less than 2, but then I am going to flip the inequality and say greater than, but I'm also going to change the sign. So therefore, x has to be, if I put it in terms of an and situation, has to be greater than negative 2, and it has to be less than 2. So in terms of our interval, we would have negative 2 to 2. So that's what it would look like. All right, so this shows it, all right? The first one stays the same. The second one, you flip the inequality and the sign. All right, so over here, I would have x is greater than or equal to 2 as one of them, and then I would flip the inequality, and then I would change the sign. And so now I've got x is less than or equal to negative 2, okay? So it's going away from 2. So that means that I'm going from a negative infinity to negative 2, and I'm going from 2 to infinity. Remember that this is the union sign, so we're joining the two intervals. All right, let's try and do one that's a little bit more complicated. Okay, stop the video, see if you can do this one on your own, and then start it up again when you want to check your answer. All right, so maybe you've had time to try this. You should have ended up with a x minus 2 is less than or equal to 4, and an x minus 2 is greater than or equal to negative 4. Now the biggest mistake that I see people do is they want to change the minus 2 to a plus because of absolute value, changing everything to a positive, but that's not true, okay? If you go back to, our example up here, let's think about it in terms of actual examples. What numbers can we plug in that would be less than 2? Well, I could plug in 1, and absolute value of 1 is 1, and that's less than 2. And I could plug in a negative 1, and the absolute value of negative 1 is 1, and that would be less than 2. But over here, on our other example, if I were to choose numbers like, say, 5, the absolute value of 5 is greater than or equal to 2, and the absolute value of negative 5, which is 5, is also greater than 2. Okay, so here I need numbers that are basically going to be between a negative 4 and a 4. All right, and that's how this is going to work. So when I go to add these, I'm going to add 2, and I'm going to get x is less than or equal to 6. I'm going to add 2, and x is greater than or equal to negative 2. So that means that I need numbers between negative 2 and 6. Any of these numbers are going to make this inequality work. If you want to, you could test it, like test 0. 0 is in between negative 2 and 6. If I plug in 0, I get 0 minus 2, which is negative 2, and the absolute value of negative 2 is less than or equal to 4, so it works. All right, last example for this one. So again, if I follow the rule, I write 8 minus x over 2 is greater than or equal to 10, and then I write 8 minus x over 2 is less than or equal to negative 10. And then I'm just going to simply solve it. So 8 minus x is greater than or equal to 20. I am going to subtract the 8 and get negative x is greater than or equal to 12, divided by a negative 1, which flips the inequality, and I get negative 12. Multiply by 2 on this other one. 8 minus x is less than or equal to a negative 20. subtract 8, I get negative x is equal to a negative 28, divided by a negative, and x is less than or equal to a positive 28. So now I want, greater than or equal to. I forgot to flip the inequality. All right, and the reason I realize that right now is because they have to be going away from each other. So therefore, I know that I want less than negative 12, which means it's going to go from negative infinity up to negative 12, bracket, union, bracket, 28 up to infinity. All right, and there would be my interval notation. All right, so if I kind of just look at these, notice that the two situations that we have with the less than ended up being and situations for our intervals, and the two that started out as greater thans ended up being ors, or union situations for their intervals. So that's what they're trying to explain up here in the box, is that there's a pattern with these situations. Okay, but I just like to remember that always switch the inequality, switch the sign, and then you're good.